What is going on, guys? It's RealTutsGML here, back with, of course, another GameMaker tutorial. And today what I'm going to be teaching you guys is how to make a cool unlockable door system, with keys and all that fun stuff. So basically what I've done here is I've created what I'm going to show you first. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this after I show you it, because a lot of people and I myself like to work along with people, if I'm watching a tutorial or something like that. So here's basically the system. Is what we have here is we have a key. We can pick up the key, and it doesn't work on any of these doors here, but if we go to the green one, it unlocks them. Then we pick up the blue key. Again, doesn't work for the red. We go over to the blue and it unlocks it, and then the red here. And boom. So now we've got like a little puzzle type of thing there. So you can't just go directly to the purple key. You need to go through all of the other stuff. Maybe there's enemies in the way, so it creates a challenge. All of that fun stuff. All right. So that's what we're going to be learning today. Now the beauty of this system is that the keys and the locks are all the same object. So basically, you won't have to create a object locked blue, object locked red, a key red, a key blue. It's all the same, and what we're going to be doing is using creation codes to to initialize what type of lock it is. So as you can see here, these are green locks. This is a blue key. This is a red key. These are blue locks, and this is a red lock, and the green locks here. So if I wanted to change this, I could just go into the creation code and say C_red, and I run the game now. And what happens is that now turns into a red key. So now if we go and pick that up, it now doesn't work on the green block, it works on the red block, and it deletes that key there too. So there you go. So let's go ahead and begin. Let me go ahead, I'll be right back. Let me just delete all the code, or some of it, and I'll be back. Alright, so now I am back, and basically what I've done is just deleted all the code. So now the keys don't work, everything's white now in that default texture, and I can go through the locked blocks easily, and nothing really happens. The only thing I left in was the movement, because that is very basic. If you want to see a movement tutorial, I have a couple of them, with platformers and this kind of 8-direction movement, so you can go ahead and check out my previous tutorials if you want to know how to do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So first off, when creating the textures here, make sure that it's white, because what GameMaker does is and I see I have a little awesome shading there that I put in, but what GameMaker does is it sees the white texture and it colors that, right? So if this was yellow, it might not work on all of the different colors. Alright, and then same with the lock here. I've got that white on black, so it doesn't actually color over the black parts. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. So first off, what I'm going to do is let's color the blocks here. So what I went ahead and did in the room here is I left all this in just for time's sakes, but what you can do is in GameMaker Studio, I'm not sure if this is in GameMaker, right? I'm pretty sure it is, but what you can do is you can actually right click on the object in the room and go to creation code right here. And if you click that, it now pops up a little text editor. And what this does is you can actually in the settings say if you want this to initiate before or after the create event. I believe this is initiating before the actual create event for our key. So what this does is once this is created, it runs through this code as it would the create event, right? So right here we're just setting up a color variable, and now we can use that color in our OBJ key. So if we set color to C green again, we can now use this color variable, which now has the value of green. So what we can do is in our OBJ key, go to the draw event, control, and inside of our code here, we could say draw _ sprite _ ext. And here we can put sprite index, -1, x, y, 1, 1, rotation 0, color, this is where we would put cull, and our alpha is 1. We can copy this and paste it just with the obj locked, just as we did with the key. We don't have to change any code. Because also in our obj locked, I just went ahead, creation code, and colored what we want that lock to be. So now if we go ahead and run the game, everything should color correctly to what I set it as. Yeah, so here we go. So now we have, the red, the blue, the green, blue, red. So you can really make, so this purple key, I can easily make yellow or whatever I wanted it to be. All right. So now let's go ahead and get on to the code for picking up the key. So what I'm going to do here is in the obj key, I'm going to go ahead and go into the step event. And here I'm just going to check if place underscore meeting x comma y comma obj underscore player. I'm going to initialize some code. And the code here is going to be obj underscore player dot, you know what, actually no, let's not do that. Let's just say x equals obj underscore player dot x, y equals obj underscore player dot y. Very, very simple code. So if we go ahead and run that again, and we'll be going back to that. I just skipped through one part just so just because we haven't actually done that yet. So if we go ahead and pick it up, here we go. So now it is locked onto our player. So now we can roam around with the key, and I think it's a lot better than just picking it up and it just disappearing out of nowhere. It actually shows the player, hey, we have this key. The game is working properly. We now have the key, and let's check out this green locked block here, right? So now here comes the most difficult part in this, and that is basically checking, if we have the right key in our hand, and if not, then use the proper collision methods and all of that stuff. So what we're going to do is go ahead and go into the obj player in the create event, initialize some code here, and in the create event we're going to set up a variable key underscore on equals c underscore white. So C white is basically like a nulled value. We're never going to have a white locked block or key. If you do, then change this to something else, like pink or something like that. That's some lock that you're not going to use, right? So that is our key on. So C white is our default of not having a key. So basically with this key on, what we're going to do with it is check. Once we collide with the lock, hey, is our key on the same as our lock color? And if it is, then hey, destroy us. All right. So we're just going to do that by going to collision with our obj locked. And here is going to be our most complex code of the tutorial. So here what I'm going to say is if other.color equals key on, then we're going to do some stuff. So this right here basically says, hey, just what I said before, if other, which is our obj lock, if that color is equal to our key on color, then initialize this code. Now, how does the key on color change? Well, that's why we're going back to the obj key, and what we're going to do is in the step event, right in this bracket here, we're going to set obj underscore player dot key underscore on to equal our color. So now, really, when we collide with the green key, we're now setting the obj's player's key on value to green, which means that when in our obj player, when we collide with this lock, our key on color is going to equal the green color, which is of obj locked. Does this make any sense, or am I going a little fast here? You can always, go back and watch this tutorial a couple more times, but that is basically what is happening in game. So here what we can say is we can create a variable called key underscore color, and we can equal it to our key on. And the reason we can't use key on is because we're going to use something called what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the obj locked keys or locked event. So basically we are now going to jump into every single obj locked this code is going to run through every single one of obj locked. So what I mean by that is we say with obj underscore locked and then code. So this code we put right here is going to go through every single locked instance. So if we just said instance destroy, because, you know, if the color equals key on, then we're going to want to destroy the locked block, obviously, because we want to get through that. But if I went ahead and just used that code, and I took the key here, you see it doesn't work for the blue, it doesn't work for the red, but if we go to the green, it now destroys every single locked block, which we obviously do not want. So that's why what we need to do is create a separate temporary variable called key color. And the reason we do that is because we can't use the key on variable, because that is part of our OBJ player. So think of going into with OBJ locked as actually going into OBJ locked, draw or step or whatever, and initializing all that code here. So if you think about it that way, obviously we can't use the key on variable because that's part of the OBJ player. So we create that temporary variable key color, and we just check, hey, if color, or we'll say if key color equals our color, then instance destroy. And if we just do that, then obviously it will run through all of them, but some of this will return true and some of it will return false. So if we go ahead and grab the key now and we go to the green block, now only our green blocks get destroyed. Okay, so we're basically going to do the same exact logic with our key. So obj key, boom, same exact thing. So we go and run it now. And we take our key. As you can see, it doesn't work for red, but if we go to green, boom! Now we take our blue key, and we go to the blue side here, boom! But now, as you can see, we still don't have anything blocking us from just passing on through here. And that is part of the collision, the movement code I'm using. I'll go ahead and show you that real quick, just in case you want to copy it. But basically, we're just checking if keyboard check VK, right, and place free x plus 5, then we're just x plus equaling 5, which is the same thing as x equals x plus 5. So place free only checks against solid objects, and we're not making the OBJ locked solid. And that's important because if we made it solid, then we couldn't collide with the OBJ locked because our collision or our movement code would stop us just before we were able to hit it. So in order to do that, we just say else x equals x previous, y equals y previous. And we are missing one crucial step to this piece of code here, and that is after everything gets destroyed, we destroy our locked, we destroy our key. Now what we need to do is say key underscore on equals our default value of C white again, because we no longer want it to have that green color value because we no longer have the green key. So if I go and run the game now, let it compile here. So we're in the game and we go ahead and try and go through. Oh, we can't go through the red block now. We can't go through the green block now. And we can't go through the blue block. But if we go ahead and pick up our green key, we bring it over here, boom, it gets destroyed. We can now pick up the blue key. So we go over here, boom, gets destroyed. Now we pick up the red key and boom, gets destroyed to get our purple key to finish the level or something like that. So that's going to be it for today. Go leave a like, go and subscribe. If I went a little fast, go ahead and rewatch the video, and let's go ahead and try for 100 likes this time. Tell me if you guys want to see more tutorials like this that is, you know, not part of a series, but just sort of, you know, on its own, cool little mechanics that you can build into your game. So go like, go and subscribe. I will, of course, and hopefully, see you guys next time. Peace.